Good morning, and I'm so glad you're joining me for day one of the everyday experiment. I want you to start thinking back to this morning. You woke up, and at some point fairly soon after, you went to pick something up, or you brushed your teeth. Which hand did you use? You know the answer without thinking, because it's the same hand it's been for decades. You didn't decide this morning. In fact, you probably haven't consciously decided for years. That hand simply gets on with the job, and the other one waits. And that's completely normal. Pretty much all of us have a dominant side. It's not a problem or something to fix, and I'm certainly not about to suggest you become ambidextrous by the end of the week, but there is something really interesting about it. Your brain is wonderfully efficient. Every day it makes thousands of tiny decisions for you without asking your permission. It has to. Imagine having to consciously decide which hand to use every single time you pick something up. You'd be exhausted before breakfast. So your brain creates movement habits. It keeps the things that work and therefore stops needing to ask the questions, which is brilliant. The only catch is that when something happens often enough, it stops feeling like a choice at all. It just becomes the way you do things. Today's prompt is simply to see what it feels like to interrupt that autopilot for a moment. Spend today noticing how quickly your dominant hand goes to do something. Every time you pick something up, stir a cup of tea, open a door or carry a bag, just pause for a second and notice. Did you choose that hand or did it choose itself? The funny thing is, once you've noticed it once, you will keep catching it for the rest of the day. And then, if you'd like to play with it, here are a few ways you can. You might choose to swap hands for one whole task for the day. Brush your teeth with the other hand, stir your tea, use your computer mouse on the opposite side for a while. I actually do that now most of the time, and I can promise you it feels surprisingly easy after the initial awkwardness. Or keep it even simpler. Pick things up with the other hand. That's enough. Simply notice, because watching yourself automatically reach with the same hand over and over is a fascinating moment of observation in itself. And if you do decide to swap for different tasks, don't be surprised if it feels clumsy. That's exactly what I'd expect. After all, one side of your body has had thousands more opportunities to practice than the other. So giving the non-dominant side a moment in the spotlight hopefully makes you realise the task is possible, but it might just feel a bit awkward and you might laugh at yourself a little bit and it might take a bit longer. That awkward feeling is information, and laughing at yourself is a great outcome for a Monday. It tells you something about habits that you've built over a lifetime, and that's exactly what this week is all about. So as you go through today, I'd love you to notice 3 things. How automatically does your dominant hand reach to do things first? Has anything surprised you throughout the day? And if you interrupted that habit just once, how did it feel? And perhaps once or twice today from now on, simply remind yourself, use the other hand. You might be surprised what you find. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to look at something you probably do dozens of times a day without ever questioning whether it's worth trying other ways. I'll see you tomorrow.